everyone, welcome back to Maths Made Simple with Miss Gamu. I know it's been a long minute without making videos, but I'm back again and just in time for the exams. So if you are studying for your exams and you are struggling with area of compound shapes and shaded area, this is the right video for you. If you don't know how to do perimeter of compound shapes, please check the video that is linked in the description below. Let's jump into it. All right, so we're dealing with area. So just a small recap, what is area? Area is when you calculate what is inside the shape. Remember, when we calculate perimeter, it is the distance right round the shape. But now when we're calculating area, we're calculating the area within the shape. But now there is a thing that we have to deal with, which is called compound shapes. It's not just a normal shape. So you ask yourself a question, what is a compound shape? So a compound shape is two 2D shapes stacked on top of each other. So in this case, if you look closely, we see that in this shape, which looks like a house, is actually a rectangle and a triangle. So if I cut here, all right, we can see clearly that we have a rectangle and we have got a triangle. So the way that you calculate this, you can be methodical about it. You can name this small little triangle A and name this rectangle B. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna calculate the area of the triangle, calculate the area of the rectangle, and you add them together. All right, so let's jump into it. So the area of triangle A. Always when you are dealing with area, write down your formula. Writing down your formula ensures you that you don't forget your formula, all right? So the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. I know with my students, we always sing this song. Base times height divided by 2. Base times height divided by 2. That's how you get it. If you can do whatever you can to be able to learn your formulas, that is amazing. The moment that you reach in your higher levels like IGSE or your A levels, they don't give formulas. They assume you know your formulas. So at a young age now in primary school, learn your formulas. So the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. All right, cool. So our base is what? So base is the bottom part of the triangle. If we look down here, the base is also 6. So we also see that the distance of our base of our triangle is 6. So we put there 6 times the height. The height of the triangle alone is 5. But the total height includes that 4, but we're not interested in the 4 right now. We're just interested in the 5. All right? So 6 times 5 divided by 2. If you know your times table, 6 times 5 is 30, and 30 divided by 2 is a clean 15. All right? Cool. So you put that aside. All right? Now we deal with the area of B. B being our rectangle. And the area of a rectangle is length times width. All right? Length times width. So length, that is 6, times our width, which is 4, is a cool 24. All right? Cool. Now that you have the area of the triangle, you have the area of the rectangle, you add them together. 24 plus 15, no, it's a bit rough here, but it's all right, is there 939. All right, cool. So the most important thing is that I always used to ask my students, is it 39 biscuits? Is it 39 donkeys? You always have to put the SI unit. So in this case, our SI unit is centimeters. So it's gonna be 39 centimeters, but we are not done. Because this is area, it is square centimeters. Some students were asking me, why don't we say centimeter square? When we write it, we write centimeter square, but when we say it or when we pronounce it, we always say square centimeters. So the area of this house or this compound shape is 39 square meters. That is, we cut the shape into two. We had two shapes there. We had a triangle, we had a rectangle, and we named them A, B. We methodically calculated it and we added them together. All right, cool. Let me take a different color as we deal with the next one. So this shape, most of the time you get a question which says, calculate the area of the shaded area. They always say, what is the area that is shaded? All right. So in this case, what is pink is what is shaded. All right. So, but off the jump, we see we have two shapes there. We have a rectangle and we have a triangle. So what we're trying to find, we're trying to find this pink area. So how do we find that pink area? We are basically gonna say the area of the rectangle minus the area of the triangle for us to get the shaded area. All right, for us to get that shaded area that has a triangle inside. So that's shaded area. That's what we're looking for. All right, so firstly we're gonna find the area of the rectangle. So the area of the rectangle, as we know, always write your formula: length times width. That helps you to never forget the formula. So in this case, our length is 20. We put 20 there. 20 times 15. I'm putting it in a tower way, so that's the easy way for you to calculate. If you don't know, if you have forgotten how to multiply, please check the videos on how to multiply. 2 digits multiply by 2 digits. So there are many ways to do it. So the way that I usually do it is where I start with a placeholder. I put a 0 there because we are dealing with the placeholder of the tens. So we're not just dealing with units, but we're also dealing with tens. All right, so you first put your placeholder, then you say the first times the last. So 1 times 0 there is 0. 1 times 2 is 2. We go to the next number. 5 times 0, 0. 5 times 2 is 10. All right, then you add, we already see it, 200 plus 100 is a cool 300. Okay, not two. Okay, I'll rewrite it here. Let me just write it here. So that's 300. That's our answer, right? Cool. That we put aside. Then we find the area of the triangle. So the area of a triangle, yes, you guessed it, it's base times height divided by 2. All right, base times height divided by 2. Our base in this case is 18. 18 times 9. Yes, do it in the tower. It's always the easiest method for you to deal with it, so that you don't make mistakes. Okay, so 9 times 8 is 72. That is a 2. We carry a 7 at the top. 9 times 1 is 9. 9 plus 7 is 16. Remember, the formula says base times height divided by 2. So most students now will forget to divide by 2. So now that we've multiplied our 18 plus our height of 9, we got 162. Now we divided by 2. Okay, let me just use a different color quickly so that it's a bit easier for us. Okay, so divided by 2. The way you do it, 2 goes into 16 8 times. 2 goes into 2 once, so we have 81. But remember, we're looking for the area of the shaded area. So we found the area of the rectangle, which is 300. We found the area of the triangle, which is 81. Now we need to remove so that we find the pink area. So 300, I'll just write it here. 300 minus 81. Okay. So 0 minus 1, it can't, and we can't borrow from the 0, so we have to borrow from the 3. So the 3 becomes a 2, this becomes a 10, but we borrow from that 10, so it also becomes a 9, and that becomes a 10. Now 10 minus 1, 9, 9 minus 8, 1, and 2 minus 0, 2. So our answer is a cool 219 square centimeters. That's our shaded area. All right, so just a mini recap: whenever you're dealing with compound shapes, you have to cut them to find the mini shapes that are in the bigger shape. All right, so in this case we had a rectangle and a triangle, then we find the individual areas, then we add them together. You don't have to just calculate the individual area and you don't add it. You have to add it. All right, cool. Then when you're dealing with the shaded area, you find the area of the bigger shape, find the area of the smaller shape, and subtract them together. I hope this was helpful, and I hope it'll help you to prepare for your exams. See you in the next one.